Tommy's right hand man and Ghost's right hand man, soldier, which is what Braden is going to be right now for Tariq. All right, though. I think that was a pretty good segment there. I'm going to go ahead and head on to the next one, which is Ghost's greatest betrayal. So, throughout Power, of course, we're talking about the OG Power. Seasons 1 through 6, Ghost has faced a lot of betrayals from some of them his closest friends and family to just random big ass niggas that he met later on. Who do y'all think is the greatest betrayal that Ghost faced? Now, I think the easy answer would be to say Tariq because he ended up shooting him. But was that actually really the biggest one? Especially if Ghost kind of was prepared for it. Shit. In Power Legacy, Braden will get demoted from employee to Tariq's personal butler. I wonder if they'll fill some of the gaps they left in resolved. So Lame still dead in the kitchen, just never came up. It's coming back up, especially when Trevor's family find him. I really hope so, because they can't just leave that unanswered. Ghost's greatest betrayal came in the form of a half-smart chicken head in the form of Tasha Green. So Takara says Tasha too. So far we have 2 votes for Tasha. I read a comment on Movie by China that said Braden gonna be a lawyer like Sachs. How the fuck is Braden gonna turn out to be a lawyer? When Angela arrested him for her boyfriend murder, it spiraled and all their lies were exposed. See, I thought about that too, Ali. That was pretty big when Angela, arrested Ghost, because a lot of shit happened after that. Y'all got to think about it. We'll get to Tasha, and we'll break down, her betrayals of what she did and how it affected them. But Angela, after she did the arrest, first off, it kind of killed his image a little bit, and it made, you know what I'm saying, it made the rest of the Eastern District look at Ghost as a potential, as a potential drug dealer or, murderous kingpin and all that. Because Angela is the reason, after the arrest, that's the reason why Sachs started to become obsessed with him, Angela is the reason that Blanca and all of them kind of was on his radar. But they wasn't looking at Ghost. They was looking at Tommy. But after she made that arrest, that's what put him on their radar. And then think about it. The kids started looking at him differently, more notably Tariq. Because think about this. At first, Kanan, during season 3, was already starting to try to manipulate Tariq. Now, Tariq was biting on it, but I don't think he was all the way gone, right? It wasn't until Ghost was locked up that he really was thinking what Kanan said is probably the truth. And Kanan got to have more time to hang out with Tariq. And, and not really be able to see what's going on with them. Then also that's kind of what made, well, I'm gonna say it that way. But yeah, him being in jail, a lot of stuff happened. And it never would have happened if Angela didn't arrest him. And Angela kind of got a little over emotional. She should have actually gave him the benefit of, and I think I get the reason why she did it the way she did it, because she didn't want to give him an opportunity to manipulate her and persuade her not to do it when she, in her mind, was convinced that he had did it. I mean, it was very sus that his fingerprints would so happen to be at Greg's, you know, apartment the same day of his murder. So that's very sus. You can think about the reason she believed that he was the one responsible. But still, look at how deeply it affected him afterwards. Now, as far as Tasha, obviously, it was kind of a betrayal, the fact that she wanted to keep this nigga in the game. Then she went to Sean and what she did with him. But I don't think that really affected Ghost's life that much. Really too much. Now, maybe you can make an argument about her wanting him to still be in the game. Maybe. But you still don't know, because he may still would have went with Angela even after that. So I don't know if we can really say Tasha, honestly. I could even make a strong play at saying um saying Dre, because he actually took Dre under his wing and was looking out for Dre. And then Dre actually, made a play behind his back. First off, not telling Ghost that Kanan was back. Because maybe if he would have just, alerted Ghost and been like, look, Kanan is still alive, and that nigga pulled up on me, and he's trying to make some plays on you. He's even going after your son. As smart as Ghost was, Ghost may would have been able to come up with a good enough plan to help take Kanan off the board before things got too bad. And that way Tariq never would have became what he became, and maybe things would have been differently. But he didn't do it. He was so scared of Kanan that he moved the way he moved. And keep in mind, this nigga also sent Tariq to go die. He thought Ray Ray was going to kill Tariq, but Tariq ended up killing Ray Ray. So that was another major betrayal. So you can make a strong argument for other people, but I don't know about Tasha. But I'm curious to listen to see what y'all got to say. The reason why y'all saying Tasha. Tariq and Ghost himself. Ghost became his own worst enemy. But did he betray himself? I can understand you saying him being his own worst enemy, but I don't know about betraying himself. Well, technically, Tommy was trying to kill Ghost himself. So, did he betray? Was that the biggest betrayal? I don't know. Ghost in the Sand, Angela. That's all on Ghost for breaking into Angela's apartment and taking his glove out at the window. That's true. That is true. It was a very careless mistake. His greatest betrayal came from Tasha, but Ghost prepared for it. It's why he didn't leave her shit in his will. Y'all constantly saying that it's Tasha, but you're not giving any context of how it's Tasha. I want to know how. Tasha, what the fuck are you mad at? Your mom wanted to elevate and keep your kids of Section 8 bars. Kanan told Tariq everything they said he did. He did that shit. Exactly. He wouldn't have been able to tell him he did that shit if he was never in jail. What did they say he did? I don't know, but whatever they saying he did that shit. That shit is forever hilarious too, because the fact that this nigga didn't try to verify, he don't know what the charges are. They could have been saying that this nigga was a pervert. You don't know. Come on, Kanan. You can't just say the nigga a pervert. He's not gonna say so. I don't know, but whatever they said he did that shit. Now you know I'm right about ghosts. Now everybody else is gonna know too. That might be the funniest shit of statement of the damn series, bro. That was some funny ass shit. Since Tariq is exempt from this, I'ma say Tommy. He damn near cost Ghost's life versus Kanan and Jason. Let that man walk in blind twice. I thought about Tommy too, Slam, and you definitely got a case here because he absolutely did that. And then think about how many times this nigga was willing to risk Ghost because of some shit he wanted. Like even you could even go so as far as saying with Teresi, you mad at Ghost for trying to get rid of this nigga because he's a potential snitch. But you so worried about you having a dad. You don't know this nigga like that. And it's very sus that he just so happened to get out of prison out of nowhere like that. Then after you knew the truth that he was a snitch, you mad because of him doing it. Nigga, he still was a snitch. So yeah, the fact that he was willing to go ahead and go through with killing Ghost afterwards, man. And then, like you said, the Holly situation, how you just let him go in with Kanan like that. Kanan could have killed Ghost. I don't know how he would have felt if that happened, but he could have killed that man. And then the difference is, no matter what the circumstances were, Ghost would never let nobody kill Tommy. Even when he was trying to get out of the life, if he seen that Tommy was in danger, he still came back to say that. So definitely. And then look at how emotional he got with the Keisha situation. Didn't even know if Ghost was responsible. He just was over emotional and thought about it had to be Ghost out of his own guilt because he knew he was wrong for killing Angela and set him up that Jason could have potentially killed him. I knew your dad for a long time. He did that shit. He gives his fuck. Yeah, that shit funny. They even talking about giving him Anita. So does that mean he guilty? I told you. I know your dad a long time. He guilty as fuck. I mean, he did that shit. He guilty as fuck. Oh boy. When Tommy told Ghost what kind of lawyer did you think? What kind of lawyer you think worked for the government? I looked her up. Not nothing at all. It could be that none of this is a coincidence. He should have let Tommy kill get and that would have never happened. So basically you're saying he should have let Tommy take Angela out. But I mean she was still a federal prosecutor. And then on top of that, Angela wasn't trying to arrest them at the time, but I get it. She was still very much dangerous. Dre's path to a snake started when Kanan showed up back in his life and pumped him into keeping his mouth shut over his daughter. Right. And that's what I'm saying. Dre could have, just told Ghost what was going on, but he chose not to do that. Can't forget Dre not telling Ghost about Kanan and stealing business deals. Yeah, okay, so I'm behind on these comments I can see. Support gaming. Courtney Kemp confirmed that a lot of the shit Kanan said about um confirmed that a lot of the shit Kanan said about Ghost wasn't lines. Very interested in seeing how wild young Ghost is in Power Origins. It's crazy. A lot of people be ended up saying this, thinking the same stuff as me. Why? And then I end up getting to their comments while we're doing it. If he's trying to kill Ghost, then yeah, that's still a betrayal. Your brother slash best friend tried killing you and took the love of your life instead. Yeah, absolutely, it was. Tasha was Ghost's spouse. She broke every wedding vow. That was the ultimate betrayal. 100. Hey, but is that a bigger betrayal than something that leads to you losing your life, though, than actually killing you? I mean, her cheating on you, is that actually worse than her setting you up to die? I don't know if I can go that far because stuff like that can be repaired. Them killing you can't be, repaired. Tasha never messed with Sean or made that biggest drug dealer statement. Many would still hate Tasha due to beauty standards, in my opinion. Black women deserve love too. Certain dudes. I mean, me personally, I've been on record several times saying I would take Tasha over Angela any day. My opinion. But I get what you're saying. Certain guys are like that. Kanan was doing everything he could to destroy Ghost's reputation. Right. Greatest betrayal is Reek. How is getting shot by the one person you always wanted to keep safe and seen as a good kid, not the biggest betrayal. Ghost never seen Reek as a street nigga. Well, that's why I kind of sort of exempt Tariq because I knew that everybody would lean towards Tariq. Outside of Tariq, who would it be? Tasha playing Ghost Death when all he wanted to do was elevate the family and himself simultaneously. The only wanted the only wanted the best for everyone, and Tasha couldn't see that. Ghost was done with the game. Reek been exempt. Then the biggest betrayal is Dre. He lied. He stole. He snitched. Sell anybody the fuck out to get what he want. Oh boy. Bad as I hate Tasha, Ghost isn't innocent either. He broke the vows too. Neither of the two should have been with each. I guess you've been each other to be honest. Two different goals. That's betrayal if your significant other is halting your growth to the point she turning your son against you. Did she turn him against him though? Because I don't think she did. If Ghost became the new lieutenant governor, nigga, everybody would have been set for life. He would have protected them. I agree with that. That last part. I think in Origins we will see young Ghost is just like Tariq, causes problems for people, the St. Patrick curse, and then they later start to seek revenge on them Ghosts. Ghost grew up in poverty. Tariq was always a rich boy. That's true. The way you broke it down, Tommy a bigger Cupid than Tasha. Yeah, but that nigga Tommy was tough, bro. Tommy did some bullshit. I mean, it was good that he was loyal to him in the end, but Tommy did a lot of bullshit, bro. Y'all gotta actually give Tasha some credit too. Tasha held it down for the Ghost a lot when she didn't have to. That's what y'all gotta look at. Let's break it down a little bit more. When Angela back was against the wall, let's be real. When Ghost wasn't doing what she wanted to do, Angela was kind of willing to betray Ghost a little bit. Look what she did. She ended up getting him arrested and was potentially going to put him behind bars for the rest of his life. Tasha never would have done that, regardless of, let's say, matter of fact, it did happen. And the crazy part about this, see, Angela arrested Ghost for, what I'm saying, something she thought he did, which was taking out a federal agent that was her boyfriend. Ghost actually killed her lover, which was Terry Silver, and she knew about it. And she didn't do nothing. She didn't actually try to go through with, telling about Terry Silver until, Ghost tried to snitch on her about the daycare and get her arrested. So she never would have done that. And then let's look at Tommy. Tommy, on more than one occasions, has done some stuff that could potentially have gotten Ghost killed, and he knew that, but he let it go. Tasha would have never have done that. If it's anything she's seen that was putting Ghost in harm's way, she would have stopped it. Why? Because that's the father of her kids. So y'all gotta give Tasha a little credit, bro. That's why I be saying when folks be saying talking down on her and stuff like that, like she was all bad. She had her ways, but at the end of the day, she never wanted Ghost harmed. You can't say that about everybody else. Ghost betrayed himself, making terrible choices and trying to control everything. Well, I keep telling y'all in that game, you gotta control shit. That's part of what it is. That's why the name of this show is Power. You gotta control the shit. You got way too many emotional people that's messed up, that fucks up all the time, and puts you all at risk if you allow them to freely think and do things on their own. So you gotta control them. It is what it is. The ultimate mastermind behind Ghost's death was Tate and Dre. Let me think about that. Uh, Not really. I don't know how you can make that even make that because Tariq ended up doing it, and neither one of them put Tariq up to do it. So I don't know how you could even maybe slightly with Dre since he gave him the gun, but he didn't know he was going to shoot Ghost with it. So even that is kind of a reach. So I don't know how you could say that. Now, if you want to say anybody, you could say um, Tariq because not only was he the actual shooter, he also interfered with Tommy coming to save him. Remember when Holly suggested they should snitch on Ghost? Tommy was like, by riding on out Ghost, are you out of your fucking mind? Listen, shut up, you fucking Disney bitch. Shut the fuck. Yeah, but that was season 2, Tommy. Before he found out about Ghost lying about Holly, before he found out that he betrayed, that he set up Kanan, a lot of stuff hadn't happened yet. I'm talking about on down the line. You're talking about at the very beginning. That's season 3, actually. I'm sorry, but still. So he did know about the betraying Kanan and stuff like that, and the Holly situation. But still, at the end of the day, later on, he still had almost he still almost risked Ghost's life by not showing up with the Kanan situation. He still did that. He still did the shit about Jason, you know. So I'm just saying, We're not saying that Tommy didn't have Ghost back. We absolutely know that he did, but he did do some shit that was kind of some betrayals. Holly was jealous of Ghost and Tommy relationship. Yeah, Tasha never wanted Ghost to be dead or in jail. Facts. Damn, you made a point with Angela arresting Ghost for Greg murder, but Tasha never snitched for. Yeah, exactly. Y'all, that's what I'm saying. Y'all got to give Tasha some credit, bro. Up until season 6 when they had that argument. Yeah, the only reason why she finally went ahead and activated that Terry Silver's card was because it was free game. Ghost tried to get her arrested. And even then, she still didn't want him dead, I'm sure. She just was going to put his ass in jail. Ghost was a terrible husband and Tasha was a terrible wife. Okay. Now, I could take that. You can say that's fair to a degree. But let's be real, though. They both still had each other's back. We can say they were terrible husbands and terrible wives, but they both had each other's back. Whenever Ghost was in trouble, Tasha was there for him. Whenever Tasha was in some kind of need with the children or financial need or something like that outside of season 6, Ghost was there for her. So in the end, they still was there for each other, regardless if they liked each other or not. Tasha, how are you going to become a governor when people find out that you killed Terry Silver? Terry Silver might stop you. I don't know what you're talking about. But you go ahead, Tasha. Keep talking that shit. But at the end, you still ain't got it. You ain't got a plan. You were the plan, Ghost. You can't keep taking up from him. Me having a plan or not, you can't keep taking up for him. You said it. You said, Ghost, I can't teach him how to be a man. Well, this man, a boy how to be a man. Well, this boy has made a man's decision. Well, power is lit, man. Them sayings and shit like that, you'll never forget them. Ghost is going to be a crook dealing drugs or a politician, same shit. Yeah, I just brought up that. I just brought that up because Tommy outburst on Holly was funny as fuck. I wish Tommy was a betrayer, motherfucker. Tasha held it down most of the time, especially when she was his alibi to take out Lobos. Yep. And think about this. Keep in mind that was fresh after he just left her for Angela. You know what I'm saying? After he told her that he was gonna stop and he still was doing it. And then even after she's found the separation papers, she still held it down for him. That the nigga was trying to separate from her. Y'all got like this is crazy. Ghost laughed so good it was funny. Ghost, Tasha and Ghost loved each other and their kids, but they were no longer in love with each other and had grown apart. Now that I 100% agree with. They loved each other because of who they were to each other, but they weren't in love with each other. And they was making things work for their kids. Tate is the one that put it in Tasha's head that Ghost was gonna turn Tariq in for Ray Ray. Okay. Okay, support. You got an argument there. That's true. He is the one that put that in her head to make her think that shit. Ghost forced Tasha to move on. She wanted him until Angela really messed him up. He wanted to get back with his wife, and Tasha was like, "Now, hold on, what?" Ghost forced Tasha to move on. She wanted him until Angela really messed him up. He wanted to get back with his wife, and then Tasha was. I mean, I'm gonna say this: Tasha brought some of that on herself too, because like I said, she didn't fight for him, and I think that's another thing that our women, particularly, are messing up on. They really believe that, oh, I'm not gonna fight for no man. And I'm not saying physically fight for him, like throw hands. But shit, some of them will even do that. But what I am saying is, if you know that that's your family, that's a man right there, and you see something, a potential threat, you supposed to fight for him. Like stand up for yourself. Let you know, hey, I'm his wife and stuff like that. Now, if this nigga in your face say, look, I don't want you, I'm taking her. Now that's different. But she didn't even show up and try to, interfere with what was going on. She just said a few words to the nigga and asked him to stop. She could have prevented that shit. Cause let's be real. If Terry Silver would have just shown up on Tasha and ghosting that shit, what he would have done. Terry Silver ass would have been up out of here. Ghost's biggest betrayal was trusting Rashad Tate. How can you make that claim? He lied to Tasha and said Ghost told him he was gonna snitch, and Tariq said, and on Tariq, this led to Tasha confronting Ghost about it, and it gave Ghost the idea that Tariq should confess, which led to Tariq shooting him. All right, you cooking a little bit. Ghost always had a deep gut punch like line to hurt Tasha. She never talked to him like she should have. So why keep fighting for him? Because he's the father of your kids. He's your husband. He's a rich ass nigga that like it's like his like her mother was telling her how you're gonna find another one like him. That's another thing. I think when it comes to these relationships, women will be so quick to just get out of it, thinking they can find another one just like that, and that's not the case. It's hard to find a dude like that. What the fuck is this? Hold on, let me read the other stuff. Hold on, make sure I ain't read. Tasha would have had a chance. Ghost was ready to drop everything for Angela. Wouldn't have had it. I mean, possibly. What the hell is this nigga Adam here talking about? What the fuck are you talking about, bro? If you're really that ugly, you should date my girl. This has got to be a Michael Burner at that account or a Shay Wu account. Shit is crazy and wild as fuck. Ghost's biggest betrayal was when he killed Roller, his most loyal soldier that would have changed everything had he survived. I don't know if he would have changed everything, and I definitely can't say that he was the biggest betrayer. And plus, we talk about the people that betrayed Ghost, not that Ghost betrayed. He was building up Angela but tearing down Tasha. So Tasha wasn't tearing him down? Nah, see, I'm the one, I'm the middleman. I'm gonna keep it honest. I've been taking up for Tasha all night, but some of this shit ain't the truth. Tasha didn't have no standards. The type of man she messed with when she stepped out on Ghost is right, exactly. And like his mama, like her, I mean, her mother was telling her, "You're not gonna find another one better than him, more than likely. So you need to try to make it work with him." But what was she doing? Trying to fight against it. Fight for a dude with one foot out the door. Nah, if you're ready to leave me because your ex from eighth grade is back in your life, you can kick right. Okay, and keep with that. Y'all keep with that mentality. You gonna keep losing these motherfuckers. Now, if he just outright disrespecting you, that's different. Like for instance, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. how dude was doing her, nah, you don't fight for that. You get up out of that. But the Ghost and Angela situation wasn't that bad, especially the fact that he didn't do that much in the beginning. She, the one, didn't do enough to keep him, and then he was too far gone. So Demarcus, a nigga coming in late. Exactly, Hezzy. You ain't strong or smart enough to do this on your own. Ghost could never do Monet or Rock like how he did Tasha. Well, I agree with you. Why? Because they both wouldn't have played with Ghost at. But wouldn't have went with that shit. First off, look at Monet and Rock. They would have tore Angela ass the fuck up if she would have tried that shit. There's no way. They wasn't saying Tasha just laid down and let it happen. No, I haven't watched it yet. I always watch it the next day. Demarcus. I think Ghost had more respect for Angela because she was successful in her own right. Tasha was supportive housewife, and he was unappreciative and bored. Nah, that's bullcrap. Tasha would have if Tasha would have supported everything this nigga wanted to do, he would have been okay with that. I'm telling you. A lot of the times when a man is unhappy, I'm trying to put y'all on game, but sisters always think they know men better than men. That's the problem. And the craziest part is that it seems like it's only heavy in our community where they try to tell men what about men more than men. A lot of the times when a man is unhappy in a relationship, if um another woman come along and is able to fill those slots that he's been talking to you about for the longest about that he sees an issue, he might stick around because he still got enough love for you to stick around with you with, especially if it's children involved. But if that right woman come along that's filling all of those slots that you've been talking to her about, that nigga's gonna leave you. And that's what happened to them. Men aren't that complicated the way y'all want to believe that we are. Tasha the mastermind, half smart chicken head green was added again. There you right, Jay. Remember he told Tommy after seeing Angela that it was making him think of the road untraveled. Tasha and Angela were basically sister wives. Got a family full of men. I know all the tricks and trades, young and old men. Y'all read from the same bullshit, man. Okay, keep believing that. I'm telling you this shit from experience. This is the thing. It's a difference from women going by what they think they seeing and what men actually are doing. And then this is the thing. Men talk among men about shit like this. We don't talk to women about shit like this. For one thing, women most of the time isn't gonna understand. So why keep trying? That's for one thing. And then on top of that, when it comes to shit like this, Um, Men are looking for the ones that's not going to be a headache, that's going to be peaceful, and going to be support, going to be supportive. She wasn't. She had. I guess it was kind of peaceful and stuff for a moment and stuff like that. But the supportive. I really really hope. This is why I can't wait. A lot of folks saying they're not too interested in origins, but I really can't wait to origins come. Cause it's gonna. I guarantee you, it's gonna be on down the line. So we ain't gonna really be able to have this conversation until about probably 3 4 years at least down the line, maybe even 2 to 3, maybe depending on how many episodes they release each season. But I guarantee you, it's gonna show that during Tasha and Ghost relationships, it's gonna be certain things up in there that Tasha's gonna be doing that he's gonna be trying to get her to do, and she's gonna be having certain things that's gonna be constantly leading him. Because keep in mind, he told Angela during season 1 that Tasha and I were falling apart way before you even came, which proves what I said earlier. A man will stick around, even if he's not happy necessarily, for the sake of especially if children's involved, if it's somebody that he's been with for a long time, until a woman that comes along that's supportive of all the stuff that you wasn't doing, that he's been asking you about, he'll leave after that. But if you fulfilling all of that shit, he ain't gonna have no reason to leave. Farrakhan even talked about this shit. It's simple shit, and I don't understand why women don't understand this. And you try to tell them, they try to talk against you and swear them down. They know what they talking about, and you don't. Oh, don't forget about Proctor lying to Ghost and Tommy about keeping that recording. That recording caused a lot of problems. Yeah, I mean that was one of them. The biggest, nah, but it was definitely a problem. It'll make the top 5. But it was. I agree with what you said, Slim. That is more of Tommy's problem than it was Ghost, because it really hurt him more. I see the Block Crew, the Kembe Matumbo support game 2026 doing what he does best. Ghost manipulation was heavy on everyone he was around. I'm certain he fixated on his king in status, and she was stuck there. Yeah, I figured she meant king, man. How was she stuck there when she had an opportunity to get out? She didn't want to take it. That don't even make sense. So Tasha is cooking, cleaning, sexing, helped him start the business, and when he steps out, he's not working hard enough. Huh? I don't get what you mean here. She's not. I'm sorry. She's not working hard enough. Nobody said nothing about her working hard enough. What I said is her not being supportive. I didn't say shit about not working hard enough. If you're telling somebody something and they're constantly not doing it, they constantly want to give you pushback and tell you, "Oh, this is what it is." Similar to kind of what y'all doing right now, trying to give somebody pushback instead of actually listening. That shit tend to be annoying to me. And I'm just being honest with you. Tommy also said Tasha was loyal to Ghost the whole time, so explain that. I mean, throughout the history of the show, they were showing that she was loyal to him. I just made a whole compelling argument about Tasha's loyalty. That has nothing to do with her not being supportive. to his dreams. Even in season, matter of fact, season five, episode, I mean, not season five, season four, episode, I want to say seven. Yeah. She even said it when they were doing the interview with, Simon Stern brought in the interview for the house. And she said it wasn't all Ghost's fault. I stopped believing in Ghost's dreams. That's what she said. And season three, episode 9, when Ghost came back and said, after he had basically pulled off the plan to set up those two club guys, I forgot their names, the guys who had the rival nightclub across from his, and he came back to her and said, I did it. I beat them little motherfuckers. Now our children will have legit money for the rest of their lives. And she said to him, yep, you did it. You said you'll make it on the legit side, but I didn't believe you. She said she was admitting it then that it was her fucking fault. So on more than one occasion, she has admitted that her part in what made them fall apart. Gender war initiated. Oh man, we ain't having no gender war. We just having a nice little conversation. I love these people. These my girls here. But they about to get cooked tonight. Tasha never had a job throughout the entire show. Now I'm thinking about it. Hey, she didn't need a job though. Well, that can't be denied. Ghost was a lying ass nigga. We know that. You said she didn't work hard enough to save the marriage. No, when I said she didn't work hard enough, I was talking about she didn't work hard enough to stop that when Angela was coming along. She just let it go. I wasn't talking about how hard she was working as far as being a wife for Ghost. Totally different. She just basically looked at that nigga from a distance talking to her and walked the fuck away and proceeded to go flirt with Sean. That's what the fuck she did. Another point, but she denied all her dreams. What dream did he fulfill for her? You don't make Destiny's Child come in and walked off when she sung, and she stopped school for him the same day. Well, see, you're talking about episode 5, which is when Ghost was already gone. Keep in mind, Ghost and Angela had already smashed during that time. So again, you're talking about a different time where they're already gone, where Ghost is already gone. She should have, episode 1, she could have stopped that shit. She didn't do it. A little drug in daycare. Besides the daycare, she never had a legit job. She was always at home 90% of the time. Was always at the club if you don't count the drug dealing. Well, I'm not against her. I don't care about her not having an actual job. She's a housewife. She married to a rich nigga, and keep in mind, she kept the books for them. So that was her job. She did everything she's supposed to do as far as that. I'm not holding that against her at all. Just realized that and came to the conclusion that you are a tattletale who throws temper tantrums just like Tariq when you're not in control. Tasha did have a job. She was an accountant for the family business. Exactly. Yeah, he definitely hit her where it hurt. No lie about that. He was hit the head where it hurt. He's the cook I had. And you could see, you know what I'm saying? You could see the hurt in her eyes once, once she used to do it too. So I mean once he used to do it. She had suspected he was doing something when she told him you never had shit. So Angela would make any woman think this what he doing now. So why fight? Uh, Once again though, Miss Ali, when she said that, um, about him hiding stuff. Hold on. First off, let me make sure we're talking about the same thing. When we're talking about the hiding stuff, are you referring to when she found out the money was missing, or are you referring to the time when she was saying ever since you opened that club, you've been different? Tasha gets no grace, unfortunately. Now, if the times were reversed, she'll be all kind of hoes and no good. Well, that ain't true because I just literally took a whole. I took the first 15 minutes defending Tasha. Did I not? Okay, so yeah, that's what I figured you was talking about. You had to be talking about. Once again, Ghost was already too far gone during that time. He had already been doing shit with Angela. Her time to stop that shit was the first two episodes, really. Even episode three, she could have stopped it. But once that nigga had smashed in that club, which was episode four, and she was a wrap. Hey, I still think it's a possibility that they did something back in the day. I don't give no fuck. I'm gonna say it. I'm still gonna hold on to it. That shit just don't make sense that they didn't. Tasha Ramona would Ramona would be a good role model for. Oh, you talking about the quote model for the kids. I do anything to keep them away from your bad influence. I'm not Tasha's biggest fan. They all messed up, but like D said, many don't give her any grace or credit. They they marriage was fixable. Well, you saw me. I definitely gave her credit, and I said it was fixable. But I told you what happened was because I know I'm just gonna keep it on. Not to make this shit too much about me. I don't had a lot of girls before, and I don't seen women when they jealous. If that would have been me talking to some girl and stuff like that, especially the type of girl woman that Tasha's supposed to be, they would have came over and approached me right where the hell I was at, talking to her, and that's what the hell was going on. They would have stopped that shit right there to there. So that was Tasha's um, biggest fault where she failed at. She should have stopped that shit. Very big chance Kanan had something over her head for sure. What's up, Razil? You about caught the back end though, because I'm about to go to the last topic. Hey, I agree with you. We wouldn't have a show. But hey, I'm just going with what logic would have been if it was real life. Ghost was a player. He got Angela, Tasha, Ramona, and he smashed that investor who knew Take Two. Hell yeah, and the reporter wanted Ghost too. The reporter, but y'all can't act like Ghost was just slanging D all around town. Ghost had status. All right, so let me ask you this, D. If Tasha was to leave Ghost, was the left, let's say Tasha left Ghost, right? She found another dude she wanted to be with. Who do you think would have hurt each other the most? Sometimes you gotta think with logic too. Who does this hurt the most? If Ghost leave you, are you more damaged? Or if she left Ghost, was he more damaged? Ghost could survive easily without her. You can't really say the same thing about her surviving without him. So therefore, yes, she should have been the one trying to fight for it. I know y'all ladies hated Kevin Samuels so much, but this is another thing that Kevin Samuels used to talk about. I hate to bring him up in this. I'll be brief about it. But he was saying that other ignorant groups of women have no issue with competing for their man, fighting for him, because they understand they have a good man. You're going to have to fight for him some of the times on certain shit. The sisters are the only ones that think, oh, I shouldn't have to. I'm not going to do that. And then you're going to sit there and be alone. We're not saying chase behind niggas, but if that's your husband and y'all already don't have that and stuff like that, you see stuff going down, bro, you can put a little effort into it to make sure you let her know where you stand. Now, if this nigga straight up just say, look, like I made an example already, like Diary the Mad Black Woman, if he's on some shit like that, then yeah, don't degrade yourself and sink that low. You go ahead and move on, and then trust God to find you another man. But the Ghost and Tasha's situation wasn't that bad. She could have repaired that by simply getting in the way of that shit. She could have used leverage. Found out that once she found out she's a prosecutor and stuff like that, she could have did some stuff to help hinder her job or something. She could have did a lot of things to stop that shit. You're not familiar with Kevin Samuels? Wow, love. I can't believe that. That's kind of crazy. But she deserves better than you. She deserves. Like who? You like who, sir? You? Yeah, me. Oh boy. Shoot him. I got the fucking gun. Now I got it. Now I got it, bitch. I deserve this. Yeah, you deserve it. Not only for trying to kill me, Sean, but for whatever it is you got going on with my wife. Then they would have called Tasha ghetto trash had she checked. No, they fuck, we wouldn't have. No, the hell we wouldn't have. And we're not saying go and beat the girl up. Now, if she would have did that, possibly. And even with that, I think she would have got some grace. She's taking up for her goddamn man. Y'all be sometimes being too hard on making stuff do different. If a man don't see that way, and who gives a damn what they say? If you protecting what's yours, because if a man, think about this, if a woman is flirting with, I mean, if a man flirting with your woman and stuff like that, we gonna come like that, and we don't give a damn what somebody else got to say about it. 'Cause that's what I'm gonna do if a man's just flirting. If I feel like this is my thing. I'm never gonna fight a dude over like if I found out that a dude that didn't know me smashed my girl, I'm not gonna go fight the dude about it. More than likely, unless it's like my somebody close to me, like my brother or best friend or some shit like that. Yeah, he gonna have to get these hands because you foul for doing that. If it's a random that I don't know, and he's mad, I'm not gonna get mad and fight that nigga. Why? Because this he just being a nigga just like everybody else. Shit, that's some pussy that's on the table that she gave up. Can't get mad at him for doing that. Imagine if Lakeisha Grant would have smoked Tasha. I wonder how things would have been different. How things would have been. Well, Tariq would have smoked Keisha for sure. That would have happened. I understand fighting for a man when a chick is trying to move in on your man, but fighting for a man who willingly wants to leave, he wasn't willingly wanting to leave her yet. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. This crazy, this segment going this long, but that's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. He wasn't willing. He at that time he was just slightly flirting, sure, but he was curious, like he told Tommy the same episode. Curious of the road untraveled. If she would have just interfered right there, but like, hey, honey, it's this simple. What she could have done. Hey, honey, who is this? Ghost would have had to introduce her right there. Hey, Angie, this is my wife. Angela would have backed off, more than likely. And even if she didn't, the dynamic changed. Now, Angela knows early before he gives her the gifts, before he takes her on the dates, that he has a wife with children. She probably never would have even called him after that. Or, she probably never, like, if she could have interfered before Ghost got the number, Ghost probably would have tried to track her down, but it would have been much harder if she would have just did that. And then look how easily and quickly she was to flirt with Sean. That lets you know that she already had thoughts in the back of her head there. That could have been also part of what Ghost was talking about. That you know, Tasha and I were falling apart before that. Ghost didn't believe in God and blamed him for Raina being dead. What they got to do with that? All right, D. Then you should know. If you believe agree with a lot that Kevin Saint said, then you should know. Cause I promise you, that's the truth. Our women, the black sisters, are the only group of women that be doing it. I'm not saying no other ethnic group won't fight for a man, but majority of them they're gonna fight for this. They ain't letting that shit fly. Becky would have got all up in the way and interfered with this shit. So with Maria, so with Sue, all of them, they would like hell no. What is this? Courtney Kemp wrote Tasha and Ghost like white people marriage. Tasha always send Tariq to his room instead of discipline. Facts. And that's what the problem was. They wrote them like white characters. But even in that situation, like I said, white people wouldn't have fought. I don't think the white people would have fought him for it, but they would have definitely approached it. Courtney Kemp, in the end, he still came back to Tasha, and Angela knew that too. Right, which let you know that he still had love for Tasha. That's what I'm saying. He had love for her. It just was a certain part that was missing. Imagine if Lakeisha Grant would have smoked Tasha. I wonder how would Ghost and Tariq's situation had been. I think they both would have made sure. Honestly, how I think that would have played out, bro. Um, Tariq probably would have smoked Lakeisha, And Tommy would have been hot about that. And we may have potentially had to seen Ghost and Tariq work together to take out Tommy. We may would have gotten that if, Keisha would have ended up taking Tasha out. That would have been crazy. In real life, Tasha would have hit Angela in the head with a bottle in the club. Probably. Like I said, even if folks would have said she's ratchet for that, who gives a fuck? That would have made that bitch Angela think twice about coming back over there. I guarantee you that. Tasha speaking to Ghost about getting with Terry Silver. It wasn't like that we didn't get together until he got you out. And then he got you out. Fuck you, Ghost. She was cold at the fuck you Ghosts too. Ghost knew as soon as he saw Angela, that's why he sent Tasha home right away at the club. And that's not, see, now you're not even remembering it correctly. That's not even how that happened. The part that you're talking about was before he even seen Angela. That's not true. When he sent her home, if you remember, that was the opening of the club. And then once she got in the car, he was like, going home, Miss St. Patrick? Because remember, Sean took her home. She was like, where else would I go? That's not the same scene where Tasha flirted with Sean in the car. It was the time after they went to the club again, later on in that episode. And Tasha left home for herself. Because if you can remember, Cantos tried to follow behind her and said, hey, Mrs. St. Patrick, you're not leaving, are you? I'm pretty sure the boss wants you to be here. And she ignored him and said, Sean, meet me out front. I'm leaving. Come on now. I know this show way too well. You're not going to catch me on no bullshit like that. Terry said all the people should have never got involved with the St. Patrick. When Ghost told I hope nobody saw you when she was with Terry in the parking garage. Hold on, what's that reference to? All I know that shit was funny too though. He was like, you better hope so too. So you were there. Oh boy, bro, season 6 was funny as hell. Season 6 was some funny ass season. Because Ghost wasn't playing around with none of them votes. Anyways, though, I'm about to go ahead and head to this last segment because it's like lately. It's like lately, it's always be that one topic that just spewed out a long segment like this. But this time it so happened to be this one, which I didn't kind of expect it to be. But hey, it is what it is. It was good. All right, now to the last one. We are at, was Ghost holding back Tommy? Like I told them earlier, because some of y'all just coming in the beginning, it seemed like Tommy always followed behind what Ghost said. Even as far as season 5, actually, he still kind of was, following Ghost's lead. Remember episode 508, actually, the same episode Kanan was killed. He was they was talking about making a play to go get Ghost. I mean to get Dre or something like that. And